Now on CoastTV News.
Indian River Inlet repairs. Millions of federal money to the north side of the inlet. One work will finish. Controversial arrest video in Dover. What led up to the arrest and how the governor is getting involved. Harriet Tubman Museum break-in.
I feel as if someone close to me has come in and violated not only her, but also me as a person.
How much cash was taken from the historic museum. Lewes fire police officer charged with attempted rape. How the fire department is responding.
Now we're tracking significant heat that has prompted a heat advisory, and extreme heat also a part of the peninsula.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Georgetown Town Council debating and discussing nonprofits in town and cottage housing. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Ferguson. Welcome into CoastTV News at 11. Just a few hours ago, the Georgetown Town Council heard updates from two local nonprofits, Love Inc. and the Georgetown Navigation Center, Springboard, Delaware. Leaders from both organizations, along with people they've helped, spoke to the council about the importance of their work. After the presentation, Love Inc. community planner told us why Georgetown continues to be a great place for the organization and the people it serves.
We're not saying we're the answer, because I don't think any one organization or church or business is the answer. I believe it's all of us working together, and because there's already so many existing resources in Georgetown, I believe that the collaboration and the coordination of resources through Love Inc. Is going to help it be way more effective.
Having those nonprofits speak about their services they provide to the homeless population in Georgetown helps the council identify good and bad practices they want other nonprofits to follow. Georgetown Town Council also discussed possible changes or a repeal to the town's cottage housing ordinance tonight. The discussion was requested by Mayor Angela Townsend in late June, and the council took no action tonight. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has awarded a $53 million contract to repair the damaged North Jetty at the Indian River Inlet. The work includes rebuilding part of the jetty and placing a large stone in the inlet to stabilize it. Construction is expected to begin next spring and be completed by fall of 2028. Cambridge police are now investigating after a weekend burglary at the Harriet Tubman Museum. The back door was broken into, ruining a mural inside, and the donation box that was stolen with an estimated $300 inside, and that's a big blow since the museum runs entirely only on donations. Staff that say the museum has been running since 1992, and nothing like this has ever happened before.
I feel as if someone close to me has come in and violated not only her, but also me as a person who second home is right here in this museum and all that it's worth.
Anyone with information is being asked to contact the Cambridge Police Department. In the meantime, museum staff are asking for donations to help support the reopening. A link can be found on Coast TV's website. Staff say repairs to the museum are expected to take 2 weeks in Cambridge. And now let's take a live look outside into Ocean City and bring in First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. Paul, sun's not out right now, but when it is out, UV index is high this week.
That's a problem, actually. And a lot of times folks try to gauge the UV index based on how hot it is. It has nothing to do with how hot or warm it is. It has everything to do with the brightness of the sun and the burning effect thereof. Now, we are looking for it to continue to stay clear for tonight, but as we go into tomorrow, we will be concerned about the UV index being elevated, but also we do have concerns for heat as well. There's a extreme heat watch of Easton, Trapp, Oxford, Cordova. We're watching out for about 110 starting Wednesday, and near 105 for everybody else in Sussex County. Now, we do have a little bit of concern for coastal flooding up until about 5 o'clock in the morning that's connected to the tide. Now, I had mentioned the UV index, and here's the thing right here. We're looking at the UV index stand at the level of 10 for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is only one step below extreme.
Thank you, Paul. A new traffic light is up and running on Route 50 in Wicomico County. Take a look from our Coast Copter. The new light is up at the intersection of Route 50 and Old Railroad Road. This is right next to Wright's Market. MDOT has been working on the $3.5 million project for months. MDOT says there have been 54 crashes at that intersection since 2019, and this traffic signal is hoped to solve some of that there in Wicomico County. Back here in Sussex County, minus Conway Road between Route 1 and Route 9 is now officially closed for the next 2 months as DelDOT begins work on a new roundabout. People that live in a neighborhood right off of minus Conway Road tells CoastTV they've been seeing cars having to turn around because of the closure and take the detours. DelDOT says the roundabout is a part of the larger minus Conway Road project, and you can take a look at that right here. Now this is what it will look like. You see these arrows and the new roads get paved over. That service road is to take traffic off of Coastal Highway and the roundabouts near Janus Road, Nassau Road, and of course minus Conway Road, which is where that white arrow was pointed to. For neighbors who use minus Conway Road every day, they think the temporary closure could lead to long-term improvements.
One of the police officers told me that there's an accident on Route 1 every day. So anything that would alleviate those left-hand turns, both coming onto Minos and getting off Minos, I think is going to make a big difference.
DelDOT says this road closure is expected to remain in place through September 14th as the construction for the new roundabout continues. And some more traffic work just near there in Lewes. DelDOT has announced the upcoming closures on Janus Road. That's the area you see right now on your screen. DelDOT says the road will be only closed between Coastal Highway and the Lewes Senior Center, while crews are paving the road. That begins Tuesday, July 21st until the following Monday. And all of this brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, what do you think the biggest challenge is with long road closures? Let's take a look at the updated results from our 6 p.m. news hour. Majority 70% saying just an inconvenience, and 15% split there for traffic confusion and lengthy detours. If you haven't voted yet, you want to leave a comment, you can do all of that right now. Pull out your phone on CoastTV's mobile app or head to coasttv.com. According to Delaware Superior Court documents, Michael Truitt was indicted by a grand jury for second-degree attempted rape and multiple other charges, including sexual solicitation of a child, indecent exposure, and acts of intimidation. Michael Truitt has worked as a volunteer fire police officer for a decade, according to the Lewes Fire Department's website. CoastTV News' Emma Aiken shows us the Lewes Fire Department says once it found out about these charges, the department immediately suspended Truitt, pending the result of legal proceedings.
Superior Court documents obtained by CoastTV show the charges for sexual solicitation of a child, indecent exposure in the second degree, and acts of intimidation happened over the course of multiple days back in December. In May, the court documents show 4 counts of unlawful sexual contact, alleging Truitt touched the breasts of an underage girl with both his hands and mouth, touched her genitals, made her touch his genitals, and intentionally attempted to engage in sexual intercourse with the underage girl, resulting in the charge of attempted rape in the second degree. The court documents also show charges for sexual solicitation and acts of intimidation during the May instances. Truitt served as a fire police officer for a decade. The Lewes Fire Department said in a statement, quote, "The actions alleged are a personal matter involving Mr. Truitt and do not reflect the values, mission, or standards of the Lewes Fire Department." Truitt worked as an employee at BB Healthcare. BB has suspended Truitt without pay and said, quote, "We are working with law enforcement authorities to better understand this situation and appropriate next steps as they conduct a full and thorough investigation into the matter." Cranston Heights Fire Company, where Truitt also served, has not yet responded.
According to court documents, Truitt is set to be arraigned on Friday, July 24th in Sussex County Superior Court. CoastTV did also reach out to Truitt's attorney, but we have not heard back. Now to the developing news of the sudden death of Senator Lindsey Graham late today. South Carolina's governor appointing Graham's sister to temporarily fill the seat, and now there's a scramble among Republicans to fill that seat permanently. Ryan Nobles shows us the latest from Capitol Hill.
Tonight, new video showing more than a dozen FBI agents fanning out across the Washington home of the late Senator Lindsey Graham. The FBI shutting down the street as investigators spent several hours on scene, taking photos and searching the property. 2 law enforcement sources familiar with the scene tell NBC News their work is out of an abundance of caution. So far, no evidence has emerged to suggest foul play. A preliminary medical examiner's report revealed Graham suffered from a tear in the main artery of his heart, but they are still waiting on a toxicology test before declaring a cause of death. On Capitol Hill, Graham's seat in the Senate chamber adorned in white roses, his colleagues struggling with his shocking loss.
Senator Graham always brought a smile to your face and levity to the halls of Congress.
We will laugh together again. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
In his home state of South Carolina, the governor appointing Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Nardone, to fill his term until the end of the year.
I think this is what Lindsey would have wanted, and I plan to honor him in this way.
Nardone is not expected to run for the seat this fall, leaving a wide-open primary field for a special election in August. She will be sworn in Tuesday, filling the vacancy quickly. What is less certain is if or when Senator Mitch McConnell will be back. Absent for more than a month, his office released this picture over the weekend, revealing that the 84-year-old is recovering from pneumonia after a fall at his home sent him to the hospital.
We are just getting started tonight on Coast TV News at 11. U.S. and Iran trading strikes back and forth. Marco Rubio calling out Iran over keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. Investigation into this Delaware State Police arrest. How the governor is involved in one advocacy group questioning the use of force. And in 60 seconds, Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams is in your Coast TV First Alert Weather Center here. You see Lewes, beautiful looking out there, but concerns for dangerous heat moving forward. All of that after this.
Well, we're going to be concerned about heat and humidity along with the UV index, which is also elevated. So the combination is this. Hey, we could use a little rain and a few more clouds in place. But our heat advisory is in full effect for most of Sussex. Now, the exception is actually the right there along the beaches. So Lewes, Rehoboth, Ocean View. The beach properties, no. But the inland areas, yes. And this is actually referring to 105. For the heat index, between 100 to 105 for the heat indices. Now, we also have what's called an extreme heat watch. This is where we're watching out for about 110 or more. And it's at watch level for right now. In addition to that, we do have a coastal flood statement that's active for us in Cambridge because there's a bit of a rise happening on some of the water that's connected to the tides. But other than that, we're basically concerned about overbearing sunshine and burning sunshine for the most part for the majority of the Northeast, where just about everybody's underneath the concern for at very least a heat advisory. Now, we warmed up to 84 degrees for the high in Georgetown and in Cambridge. We got up to 85 officially in Salisbury. Now, remember, 88 is only the norm for this time of the year, so we didn't necessarily break any records or anything like that for today, but it will become progressively and seriously hot by midweek. Right now, we're at 72 degrees in Lewes. We're at 70 degrees in Seaford, 64 degrees in Delmar, as well as Gumboro, so a bit on the cool side. Now let's talk UV index. We're at a level of 10, which is very high. 10 minutes of burn time. You need a hat, sunglasses, sunscreen, find some shade, get out of the sun during the peak hours of the afternoon. Please keep in mind that 11 is the next category, which is extremely high, which is the highest that we can go as far as categories are concerned. So we have a significant burning effect of the sun that's not necessarily connected to how hot it is, although it will also be hot as well. Kicking in as early as tomorrow, we're going to warm to 92 in Lewes, for example. We will get up to 89 for the high in Cambridge, 90 in Vienna, and we'll warm up to 88 degrees in Snow Hill and Ocean City. Here's a look at the heat index. We're going to get up to 105 Wednesday. This is when the heat advisory kicks in. Now, as we go into Thursday, it's going to get as warm as 107 in Seaford, 106 in Delmar. And then even leaning into Friday, we're still going to look at 99 to 100 to 102 throughout the central and inland areas of the Delmarva Peninsula. Precipitation also a challenge for us, 55% chance on Saturday, 43% chance on Sunday. You can see Saturday rain widespread, particularly in the evening time. We might get by in the morning time, but in the afternoon looking for scattered showers to flare up. Sunday afternoon, evening, same situation, maybe even going to Monday. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We're calling for red alert days for both Wednesday and Thursday because of the heat.
Last week, a video released showing a controversial Delaware State Police traffic stop. The video shows a trooper using force to arrest a woman. And now the full video really shows what all happened. This is a July 7th video we're showing you now.
Well, he hit me, sweetie. Oh, he punching her. He punching her, bro.
Chaos in front of the camera and anger behind it. Troopers claim Sarah Hopkins held on to her steering wheel and refused to get out of the car.
Why is he trying to slam her? For what? She's out the car.
Prompting the trooper to slam Hopkins on the ground. Delaware State Police calling these punches defensive strikes.
He hit me, sweetie. Punching her.
After troopers claim Hopkins kicked and scratched the trooper in the face. As the trooper and Hopkins were struggling on the ground, watch the kids around the car. You can see one of the children waving for help, while another paces around with his hands on his head in disbelief of what he is seeing. At that same moment, the trooper tases Hopkins. Video then shows 5 Delaware State Police cars showing up to fully take Hopkins into custody. The president of the Delaware NAACP, Floor McKendall, said in part about the stop, to see a woman being subjected to that level of force, particularly in the presence of her children, is deeply concerning and difficult to watch. Colonel William D. Crotty, superintendent of the Delaware State Police, saying this in part, as we work through this incident, we remind those we serve that the best course of action in situations that you feel are unjust is to comply with lawful orders. The woman arrested in this video, Sierra Hopkins, telling our sister station in Philadelphia she would not speak about the traffic stop without a lawyer.
The Delaware State Police are conducting an internal review of that, and the Governor's Meyer office has reviewed the video and is working with state agencies and community organizations as the investigation continues. Now, internationally, the U.S. military is attacking for the 3rd night in a row. Those new strikes as President Trump reinstates that the naval blockade of Iranian ports, all of it as oil prices spike once again, meaning gas, that's going back up. NBC's Garrett Hake shows us what that all means for us here.
President Trump tonight escalating the latest battle with Iran over control of the Strait of Hormuz, ordering a naval blockade of Iranian ports back into effect and a 3rd consecutive night of airstrikes, according to CENTCOM.
We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up discontrolling the whole thing.
The president today insisting the vital waterway is open and that the U.S. would begin demanding reimbursement at a rate of 20% of the value of any ship's cargo to pass through it. Marine traffic data shows shipping through the strait falling by half last week after Iran struck 2 commercial vessels, triggering U.S. retaliation.
We'll become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait, and we should be reimbursed for that.
The UN agency, which oversees international shipping, saying there is, quote, no legal basis for applying such tolls. Tolls which, when imposed by Iran earlier this year, Secretary of State Marco Rubio called, quote, completely illegal.
No country is allowed to charge tolls or fees on an international waterway. That's existing international law. That's the way it is.
It all comes after a weekend in which the U.S. and Iran traded missile and drone strikes across the region, including the U.S. deploying sea-based one-way attack drones in combat for the first time, destroying a ship and submarine maintenance facility. The tensions sending oil prices surging nearly 10%, as Democrats warn the president has no real plan to end the war.
It's very difficult to see the way out of what has become a kind of a quagmire.
We just heard a little bit about those rising gas prices. Coming up, AAA tells us just exactly how much more we are paying at the pump. AI replacing jobs. Why top tech executives say not everything around AI is bad.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Top economists have issued a new warning about artificial intelligence. An open letter released today says institutions must act right now to address AI's impact on jobs and the economy. It suggests AI could become radically more powerful over the next decade, leading to a transformed economy and large-scale job displacement. The 4-sentence letter is signed by more than 200 people, including top economists, computer scientists, and tech company executives. The letter states it brings also some risk, but also opportunities such as major gains in living standards. And you may want to fill up your tank soon because gas prices are only expected to go up again. It's due to the escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at why prices are rising and how much more you can expect to pay.
Prices at the pump are going up once again, but it's not all bad news.
I'm not expecting that we're going to see record-setting prices yet.
Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says when oil prices go up like they are right now, gas prices typically increase about 24 to 48 hours later. So why are oil prices going up? Tensions between the U.S. and Iran have escalated in the last few days after both countries launched more strikes. The attacks have threatened the fragile peace agreement.
Iran is keenly aware of the fact that it cannot match the United States and Israel militarily. So it is trying to turn the conflict from a military one into an economic one.
And now both sides want to block maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. It's a major waterway for global energy trade. Roughly 20% of the world's oil supply travels through the strait.
Any small impact is going to have a very big ripple effect on not just one country, but all of us.
As of Monday, the national average for a gallon of regular gas was $3.87. That's up 7 cents in the last week and 72 cents higher than a year ago, according to AAA. Gas prices aren't likely to come back down until tensions ease between the U.S. and Iran, which could take time.
On both sides, we have diplomats who want to resolve this diplomatically, but at the same time, we have military officials that want to inflict pain on the other side.
As long as the war continues, consumers will still feel the financial crunch. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Back here on Delmarva, according to the Wicomico County Health Department, a raccoon has tested positive for rabies near Archie Dennis Road in Parsonsburg after coming into contact with a dog. Health officials are urging people to avoid wild or stray animals and keep your pets confined and make sure their rabies vaccinations are all up to date. Rehoboth Charrette Week kicks off today. It's a week dedicated to getting feedback on the city's infrastructure and zoning rules. As we take a live look out there on the boardwalk now, they're not too busy. Tomorrow, the walking tour kicks off right there on the boardwalk at Rehoboth Avenue early in the morning at 8 a.m. and a discussion of the tour at 10. Then at 2, focus meetings in the afternoon, 1 p.m. on Public Works Infrastructure and the Streets and Safety Committee at 2:30 in the afternoon. Coming up in sports, the new UMES men's volleyball coach is making history. Hear about his journey to the Eastern Shore after the break.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
We continue to introduce you to all the brand new head coaches at UMES. Tonight, our Ian Nicholas sits down with Imanol Davila Morales to welcome him to the Eastern Shore. I'll show you part of it now, but for the full sit down, you gotta visit DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com.
What inspired you? Were those some of the references that you called the people that inspired you to get into this sport? What drew you to volleyball?
To be honest, originally I wanted to be a lawyer, so this is a major switch
Pivot.
from major pivot from what I wanted. My mom works in outreach. She helps a lot of communities, finding people, helping people in need, finding housing, helping out with meals on wheels. Seeing how she helps people and seeing that effect has always been an inspiration for me. As part of my own business that I own, we have it in Florida and it's expanded to different states of CCVL, that we help kids, provide scholarships, provide opportunities for different kids playing in volleyball. And my dad has been a volleyball coach, I would say one of the greats. He coached professional in Spain, coached professional in Puerto Rico, coached the national team in Puerto Rico, got to be in the pipeline to coach USAV. So the national program, got to be one of those coaches. Seeing the impact that they had inspired me, and I said, okay, I want to be an educator. And once I graduated, I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to do it, and I want to find a way to push the barriers, break boundaries. And I feel like the last 3 years at my age, accomplishing everything I have is part of that Formula One mentality of going 200 miles per hour, but making sure we're doing it the right way, taking the turns the right way. It gets emotional because, again, I represent them. I represent them, their ideas, their philosophies. In my head, being so young doesn't come from not just my ambition, it's their life work being passed on through me. So I get to be a microphone for them, an amplifier. I get to be that funnel, that filler, of what they aspire to be, of what they've accomplished, and I just get to do that now.
And you can get that full interview on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com, taking a live look into Ocean View. And after the break, we'll have a final look at that elevated UV index coming up. There was no jackpot winners in Friday's Mega Millions drawing, pushing the top prize closer to $1 billion. Tuesday's drawing is worth an estimated $637 million. Paul, with just a cash option of $278 million, no big deal.
Ain't, shopping money. Right. Let's take a look. Milford right now, we're looking at shopping weather, right? We'll be shopping for some cooler weather because we're under a heat advisory that's going to be really Delmarva wide for the most part. So keeping that in mind, that's going to kick in for Wednesday. John Herman of Seaford, you're our umbrella giveaway winner. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis. Keep out your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law office of Brogstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. We are calling for yellow alert days for Wednesday and Thursday because of the heat.
Thank you, Paul. Might be shopping for some sunscreen with this UV index. Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. This Night Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.